Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be playing Fabled. Fabled is a really interesting and fun light fiend and light beast deck that focuses on synchro summoning, and because it uses so many light fiends, it is actually a fantastic engine for Fiendsmith. They've gotten some new support in the most recent pack, including their new boss monster, Fabled Azebel, which this card looks awesome. Did not get an animation, sadly. Alright, no big deal. So, Fabled is not really a deck that has established combos because they don't have a lot of search. Instead, they just have a lot of draw. So Fabled is one of those old school decks where rather than having a plan, you just kind of have a starter and then you roll with it, if that makes sense. And one of the best starters for Fabled is Rescue Cat. So let's get started. Get a normal summon Rescue Cat and use this effect. I can send it to the graveyard to send us to special summon 2 level 3 or lower beasts from the deck, but their effects are negated and destroy them during the end phase. So we're going to special summon from our deck Fabled Nozochi, which is a non-tuner beast monster, and Fabled Abank, which is a tuner beast monster. Now we'll use these two monsters as material in order to synchro summon the Fabled Gamejin. Fabled Gamejin's effect activates, and we special summon from our deck any Fabled monster that we want. Probably the best one is going to be Kushano. Okay, Kushano is a light fiend that is also a tuner monster that has, if this card is in your graveyard, you can discard one Fabled monster to the graveyard, except Kushano, to add this card to your hand, so it gives us some discard options. Alright, now we're going to link Kushano into the Fiendsmith's Requiem. Requiem effect, we tribute it. Special summon the Lockroom of the Crimson Tears from the deck. Lockroom of the Crimson Tears, mill Engraver. And now we can use Engraver's effect, shuffle back the Requiem to special summon it. You don't have to be nearly as careful with your Fiendsmith cards in this deck because you have so many light fiends that you send to the graveyard anyway that you can just use them for other things. So we're going to use Gamejin and Engraver as synchro material to go into our Fabled Levelzable. We could go into Barone, by the way. You also can go into Barone, but, I mean, why would you want to? This card's awesome. Alright, Fabled Gamejin's effect. If this card sets the graveyard, you can draw cards equal to the number of Fabled Synchro monsters you control, then discard a card. So we draw 1. Then we have to discard a card, and we're going to discard Marcosia. And when Marcosia is discarded, we get to add any Fabled card that we want from our deck to our hand. That's a spell or trap, so we're going to add the continuous spell, Fabled Realms Revival. Now we'll activate Realms Revival, and we can set a Fabled card from our deck, which is going to be our field spell, Stairway to a Fabled Realm. We'll activate Stairway to a Fabled Realm, and we get to send a card from our deck to the graveyard, which we already have Kushano and Abank in our graveyard. So those are kind of the cards that we want to mill. We had a pretty good opening hand. Let's put Crust. Let's put Crust in rotation. Alright. Okay. Now then. You target one Fabled monster in your graveyard, discard 2 cards, and if you do, add that monster to your hand. That's pretty good. So let's see. We have Wraith in our graveyard. Alright. So we want a level 4 in our hands. So we're going to use Stairway's effect. We target the Marcosia, and we're going to pitch the Fabled Lurie and the Nibiru that we just drew. We get back the Marcosia, which triggers Lurie's effect so it can special summon itself. We'll go ahead and get Engraver out of the way real quick. Standard combo, we just draw Engraver, then we add Fiendsmith's Tract, activate Tract, and we get to add a like a Fabled monster from our deck to our hand. We'll grab Grimro, I guess. And then we will pitch Marcosi because we don't need it anymore. Okay. Now we can link these two monsters into the Fiendsmith sequence. Okay. Alright, now we'll activate Behemoth's effect. So if this card is in your hand, you can discard 2 or more Fabled monsters, including this card. And if you do, Synchro summon 1 Fabled Synchro monster from your extra deck whose total levels equal the discarded monster's total original level. The nice thing about Behemoth is that it doesn't care if the monsters are tuners or non-tuners. It is a tuner. But if you had nothing but tuners in your hand, you could still Synchro summon, because you are just special summoning a monster and treating it as a Synchro summon. So as long as the levels add up. We pitch these 2 cards, and we're going to special summon Fabled and Wraith. Fabled and Wraith's effect: if this card is special summoned, your opponent can discard 1 card to negate this effect. Otherwise, you can draw 2 cards and discard a card. Your opponent will always discard a card. So this is basically just a hand rip, which is nice. I'm up against an NPC, so of course they're not going to do it. Okay, sure. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if my opponent is an idiot. We will fusion summon, shuffle the desert. We're gonna make Desiree by shuffling Engraver, Gamajin, and Lurie back. There's Desiree. Then we activate Track's effect from the graveyard, banish it, so that we can use Sequence and Wraith as material in order to fusion summon Fiendsmith's Lacrima. Lacrima's effect: we bring back our Engraver. Then we'll use these 2 monsters as Xyz material to Xyz summon our Wave High King Caesar. And then we attach Sequence from the graveyard. And there you go. So, the Vile Zabul effect: once per turn during the main phase, you contribute any number of Fabled monsters you control and take control of that many face-up monsters your opponent controls, but their effects are negated. This is a non-targeted snatch. So your opponent can't respond to it, or well, they can respond to it, but you're not targeting. So, you know, if they get rid of some of their monsters, you'll just take others. The monster tributes itself. Okay, you tribute yourself for effect, not for cost. So what your opponent wants to do is they want to destroy your Fabled monsters in response. So that's the counterplay. But we have 2 Fabled monsters right now, so we can take control of 2 of our opponent's monsters. The control is permanent. They don't get it back at the end of the turn. We also have, of course, Triple D, Wave High King Caesar, which negates 2 summon effects, and we have Desiree, which is an Omni negate. So we also have the Continuous spell, which would allow us to, once per turn, you could discard 1 Fabled card, then activate one of these effects, either draw a card or special summon a monster from your graveyard or banishment. So this does allow us to revive the Levile Zabul if we draw a Fabled card next turn, so we can use its effect again. You also have the trap card, Fabled Treason, which says target 1 Fabled monster in your graveyard, 1 face-up card from your field, discard 1 card if you do special summon that monster from your graveyard, and if you do that, destroy that card on the field. You can only activate 1 Fabled Treason per turn. So I guess technically speaking, in this instance, since I didn't have anything better to mill, I probably should have set the trap with Fabled Revival, and then I would have the ability to bring back Levile Zabul at the end of my opponent's turn so that I could immediately then, during my main phase, also tribute it. So yeah, that was the better play. Regardless, it's the same basic end board. This is what Fabled looks like. So this is like a quick overview of the deck itself. For the list, here is Fabled Lurie, Fabled Krus, 3 Fabled Cerberils, Fabled Nozuchi, 2 copies of Max C, 1 Fabled Abank, 3 Fabled Behemoths, 2 Fabled Kushanos, 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Rescue Cats, 1 Fabled Grimrow, 3 Marcosias, 1 Lacrima, 2 Engravers, 1 Nibiru, 1 Tactics, 3 Tracks, 1 Stairway to a Fabled Realm, 3 Fabled Realms Revivals, 2 Called by the Graves, 1 Crossout Designator, 1 Fabled Treason. For the extra deck, Fiendsmith Lacrima, the Duke of Demise, Necroquip Princess, Fiendsmith Desiree, Fabled Gamajin, Fabled Onwraith, Baron de Fleur, Chaos Angel, Fabled Lavalzable, Constellar Ptolemy M7, Triple D Wave High King Caesar, Fiendsmith's Requiem, SP Little Knight, Fiendsmith Sequence, and Fiendsmith's Agnonde. I'll go over the full deck on the next video. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.